Hello. Yeah. Hi guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm Srinjoy, and I am from KodeMaster AI, and I am the head of engineering of this company. So why I'm here today is to present you this tool, KodeMaster AI, which is for you for your help. This KodeMaster AI is a tool where you can practice your interview preparation. Like, let's say some of you have a dream company, right? Everybody has a dream company. Who can they work? Anybody can name any dream companies you want to work for? Infosys. Okay. So let's say you want to be part of Infosys as a what role? Cloud engineer. Okay. So everybody has a role they want to apply for in a dream company. So now, how do you know you're preparing right? So how do you know that you're practicing the right things? You are probably all the technical people here who are applying for software engineering roles or any other. In basis of software engineering, you guys are practicing lead code. Am I right? Lead code or any normal coding questions or normal technical based questions, right? And you don't know exactly what gets actually asked in an interview. After you have given some basic interviews, 1 to 2 companies, then you know what gets actually asked, right? Before that, you don't know. And you guys are freshers, all right? Okay. So basically, I can assume that you guys don't know what exactly gets asked in an interview. If you have given 1 to 2 interviews, you have some basic idea. So now, how do you know you are practicing right? So that is why we are here for. In KodeMaster AI, what we help you to do is that I'll show you. So in this application, you can basically practice interviews which you are preparing for. We have some list of like predefined interviews already here. Soft skill interviews like for behavioral and communication depth interviews, for coding interviews like how in real interviews, in coding interviews, what happens is on other side of your screen an interviewer is sitting, right, and they tell you to share your screen, and after sharing your screen they tell you to give a problem statement and write your code, and then you have to write your code and explain your thought process, all this approach. And before the interview, what usually people practice is just practice normal coding questions. Nobody asks them what is the approach you are taking, why you are not taking the right approach here, why are you not using dynamic programming here, why is the time complexity slow high, or many questions are there, right? So by practicing basic questions, you guys don't, basically normal people don't know what exactly gets asked in a real interview. So here what we are actually solving here is we are simulating the entire coding interview experience here into this platform, where the AI actually sees what the code you are writing and ask you all the questions that a real interviewer asks you in a coding interview and all those things. So I'm gonna ask you guys to give me one role, like I heard you, and any other guys except him who can give me one role that they are preparing for. Any of you have a role for me? Data analyst. Okay. So you are preparing for data analyst, and do you have a scheduled interview or 2 months after or 1 week left for an interview, anything like that, or just you are aiming for? Just aiming. Okay. So you are like aiming for data analyst role, right? So you can go to this role-based interviews page, and you can simply type whatever job description it is. Let's say data analyst. So I will type my role here, that is data analyst role interview for freshers, and I will configure the interview. So our AI studies this job description, what you are trying to aim for, and creates a basic job description for you. And now you see on LinkedIn how data analyst jobs gets posted, right? So our AI, what it does is it creates a basic template role for you, like how in social media's job posted done in companies. So it will create a basic role for you. you can simply analyze these roles like data analyst entry level compensation. There is something about the role requirements, roles and responsibilities, skills to test, Excel, SQL, Python, and Tableau. So you can see all of this and edit it based on your use case. And let's say difficulty you can select based on the company. If you are applying for a hard company, then you will select difficulty hard, something like that. And then for data analyst, you can see technical interview, technical phase duration is 15 minutes. And in role based interview, what happens is in technical interview, you get asked also the soft skill based interviews, like based on real scenarios, you will get asked how you are going to tackle in this situation, all those questions. So it will ask also those type of questions also. So now you can simply click use this interview and start technical interview. So our platform analyzes your role requirements, all the context it creates, prepares your interview environment, and the AI agent is getting ready to take your interview. So here it is. Allow.
Hello, Srinjoy. My name is Kodey. I am your interviewer for today. I'll be asking you a few questions. Are you ready to begin?
Yeah, I'm ready, Kodey.
Great. Let's start with the theory phase. To begin, I would like to assess your knowledge of Excel. Can you explain what a pivot table is and how it can be used in data analysis?
So, if do you want to try? Okay. So
it seems you were starting to formulate.
Okay. So as you can see, this is how it's gonna ask. I'm not gonna answer because I don't know about Excel. So this is how the whole interview experience will be. Like technical interview for data analyst, it is gonna ask you all the questions that a data analyst should know. So it will ask you all those, like if you're answering good, it will go to deep level, and if you're struggling, it will try you to like understand your approach, what approach you are taking, what thinking solution you are coming for. So the entire real world interview simulation happens here. So you guys can practice interviews, like even if you can't find your normal job description here, like all the predefined interviews here, as I showed you, you can give the create your own, like paste your own job description and give the interviews. So I'll show you that thing. So you can see the reports also. So so for each interview, after you give the interview, we are showing all the results nicely here, that after giving the interviews, you can analyze and study those results, and you can learn from the feedbacks the AI is providing and all those, and you can learn from it, improve yourself, and then come back again to be more better. And so little by little, you will be actually ready for the interview, and when you will be giving that interview, you will have that confidence. I have given some mock interviews, now I am ready. I am ready to tackle the actual questions the interview is gonna ask. So if you have given at least 10 interviews, I guarantee you that all the questions the AI is gonna ask you, that exact questions or somewhat similar questions will be exactly asked you in that interview, because our AI interviewer is trained on actual interview data, and will ask you all those questions that actually gets asked you on a real interview for that particular job role or that particular aspect of the interview. So let's say this is one interview I gave previously, that is I completed entirely whole 15 minutes. So let's say this is the technical interview, right? So this is one senior front-end developer interview, and as you can see, after the interview, the whole result and everything, you can see it will give me overall score, that is 72%. The technical.
Everybody is able to see the screen. If you can come this side.
Okay, yeah.
Probably,
Yeah, everything's fine now. Yeah. So now in the reports, as you can see your overall score, the technical percentage, all of those things. And the decision, you can see that when you are giving good interviews, then it will show you recommended, otherwise not recommended, or maybe recommended. So when do you know that you are actually ready? When you will see decision as recommended multiple times. So that's when you know that you are actually ready for that particular interview. So now here you can see the feedback. You can study the feedback and try to analyze that where you went wrong, what are the areas of improvements here. And for each skill based analysis also, for let's say for front end development, right, there is Next.js, there's React, there's JavaScript, there is Tailwind CSS. So based on the skills the interviewer asked you and how you answered, we are also scoring the skills based on how you answered. So now you can read those feedbacks here. If I can zoom in, you can see there are feedbacks, right? So you can see those feedbacks and what are the areas of improvements here. You can study those, and on side by side you can study and improve and come back to this interview again. So like that, you can give interviews, see those reports, study those reports, go back home, study, and then come back again to give the interview, so that you are actually confident to give the interview. And now we have a multiple predefined interviews here. Like let's say there are some popular interviews which multiple users are giving, which we are like showing here. So there is soft skill interviews, like after you have cleared all the technical rounds or the normal interview rounds, you basically gets asked all the like soft skill based interview questions, like behavioral interview questions, based on how, like situational questions, not exactly technical but situational based questions. So our platform prepares you for that also. That is, it asks you soft skill, behavioral based questions and situational based questions, so that you tackle every aspect of an interview preparation, like interview phase, like how many steps it can be, 2 technical, 3 technical, last round HR round, whatever round it may be, you can tackle that. So this is the soft skill, behavioral and situational interview. You can start interview, and a similar type of interview will happen, but for a different aspect here, because it's a soft skill interview. So now here different type of categories we have. We have coding, we have role based interviews, that is for exact particular role. We have skill based interview, let's say Java, Python, Rust, Golang, JavaScript, all these particular skill based interviews you have. You can like study or practice your interview based on a particular skill. We have system design, high level design for let's say in like product based companies, interviewers ask you to design an entire system. Let's say people do lead code, right? Interviewer asks you practice lead code a lot, okay, design lead code system. How lead code, like under the hood, how lead code performs, like how the entire system is built. So you have to explain. So our system also prepares you for that. For system design, you basically talk about all the technical aspects, how an entire system built from ground up to the high level. And low level design, all the like compiler based or low level programming languages out there, like C++, Rust, all those things. So you can learn low level design as well, which gets asked in product based companies again. And for soft skill behavioral interviews, I already showed you how it prepares you for HR rounds or normal soft skill based interview rounds. And custom interviews is, you can, let's say you can't find your own interview, right? You can create your own interview also. You can select the category, let's say coding, you can give the interview title, you can give the description, the difficulty, duration, and the skills to test, and you can create your own custom interview and practice for that. And let's say the main thing I was talking about, right? The coding interview. So lot of people struggle in coding interviews, even though have lot of coding practice, because in coding interviews you get actually asked like situational based questions based on your coding judgment. Maybe you can code, but in front of an interviewer who is continuously asking you under pressure, many candidates who are top coders also break. So you can like practice coding interview here, like how actual coding interviews would be. We are simulating exactly that. I will show you in exactly 1 minute. So if I can go to coding, and let's say I'll take a normal coding interview. Let's say I'll take this like LinkedIn Essentials. So it will study the like interview, what is the interview about, and the agent will get to know what you have to test for. It will prepare the coding question for you and the compiler and the whole environment for you, and you can join the interview. You can write the code, the problem statement will be there, and the agent will be there monitoring your code, asking, like think of it as like a real interview. a real interviewer is sitting you on the opposite of your screen and is continuously seeing how you are writing the code and like judging you based on that and asking you based on that. So it does exactly the same thing. So I can click on join room.
Hello, Trinjoids. Science Kassandish. Hi, Sher. My name is Kodey. Welcome to the coding interview. You should see a coding problem and editor on your screen. Take a moment to scan it, and when you're ready, I'll walk you through the problem.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, Kodey, I'm ready. You can explain me the question now. Okay, sorry. Hey Kodey, sorry for that. I'm ready for the interview. You can explain me the question. Thank you.
Here's the problem. You need to determine if a singly linked list has a cycle and return the node when the cycle begins. Or if there's no cycle, reverse the linked list and return the new head. You'll receive a series of integers as input, with the last integer indicating the cycle's starting index, or 1 if there's no cycle. For instance, with the input 32041 all, you should return 2 because it indicates the cycle starting at the node with value 2's. You should be able to see the question and the compiler on your right-hand side of the screen to begin coding. Please take your time to understand the question and explain your approach before you start coding.
So as you can see, in a real coding interview, you will be given a problem statement, right? And you have to share your screen. So you have a compiler in front of you. So now you can see the problem statement, and as you can see, the interviewer asked you to explain your thought process. So what I will do is I'll study this coding problem, and I will try to understand what this coding problem is about and try to solve it. So when I'm trying to solving it, then it will actually see my code and see, like, the AI agent will judge you what approach you are taking, what judgment you are taking, and it will ask you, let's say for example, while you are coding, right, in an interview, it can ask you like, what is the best case of this problem, what are the edge cases you are covering, why is the time complexity so high, why you are taking this approach, why not taking this approach. All these curveballs gets hit you in the real interview, right? So while practicing normal questions on your compiler every day doesn't solve that. You have to give this kind of interviews to tackle and actually crack a coding interview, which happens in real life today. Like maximum of the curveball questions gets asked in the coding interview, and it is very clear that if you pass the live coding interview of a company, then you are almost through. So this particular coding interview prepares you for that in real time the agent is asking you all those curveball questions, all those things in real time. So then, like, I can like take this whole time and give this interview, and after writing the code, the agent will monitor all those things will happen, and then after the code interview is done, I can see the report, analyze it, and
How
then
do I submit whatever corrections I made?
submit. What do I?
How do I tell AI now that I've updated all of that, and how do I click it?
Yeah, so I can write some code. Let's say I will take Java, and let's say I have to implement a cycle logic. Let's say I can simply write normal things like system.out.println hello, and I can tell, hey Kodey, I'm done with the problem.
Great job on completing the problem. Let's take a look at your solution.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I've noticed a syntax error in your detect cycle method on line 16, which could cause issues. What strategies do you have in mind for cycle detection and list reversal?
So as you can see, I just wrote a simple print statement, and the AI was able to see that I was writing some gibberish like syntax error, because the semicolon would be outside this closing bracket, right? So like if I'm writing now, imagine you are writing the entire code here, the AI is actually seeing your code here and monitoring what you are writing your code, how you are performing, and will question you all those like curveball questions that gets hit. And how to submit the code, sir? You can just simply like complete the coding question, code the entire solution, and the AI in real time judges you all questions. And by the time you complete, the AI already knows that you are completing because it is like saying what code you are writing. And after you are done, you can simply submit the code, and the code gets saved, and the output results you will get showed here. Because here I have made a mistake here because of the compilation error. That's why it is showing all the compilation errors here. So now, like, you can give this interview end to end, study the question, write the code, test your question, answer the questions the AI asks you, and complete the interview. And after you have completed the interview, you will see a report like this. I'll show you the report for the coding interview. This is a full end-to-end coding interview done. That is, let's say this was the question asked. That is, you are given a 2 sorted arrays of integer. Your task is to merge these arrays into a single sorted linked list. So this was the question that was given in the interview. So you can see the exact question, study this question, what was asked, and this was the coding solution that was done in the particular interview. So this is the candidate solution, and this was the initial coding template. So you can see your own solution here, and you can see what is the output you have done, execution status, result is accepted because the code is right. And now you can see all those details, like what is your time complexity of the problem, what is the space complexity of your program. So all these things you can see, and here you can see your final everything for a coding interview or for a coding program. What do you need? You need like efficiency. If your program is efficient enough to actually perform in all edge cases, and readability, that your code is actually readable. You are mentioning the variable names nicely, all those things which are actually noticed in an interview. And edge cases, whether you are handling edge cases or not, all those things, right? So you have to like this 4 things, right? CERE. This is like this four things are like actually taken care of in an interview. The interviewer like sees for these 4 skills of a candidate. You can write very good code, but if you don't have this 4, you will not get selected. So that's why it gives this four points to you, so that you can monitor that whether your code is efficient or not, your code is readable or not, you are handling edge cases or not all those things. And you can read the final verdict that overall the candidate demonstrates a good understanding of merging sorted data structures, but they need to address the incorrect return type for specific cases and enhance the comments for better clarity. So it commented on a return type issue was there in the code, and like comments could be much better for better readability. So after giving the interviews, you can analyze the reports and study it and practice based on that what mistakes you are making, how can you improve it later, and then come back here and then give the coding interview again. So this is for the interview perspective, how you are gonna give like practice interviews here and actually be ready for the interviews. And also we have a leaderboard kind of thing where you can actually compete with your friends. Like you can see what is your rank. You can collect badges, like multiple badges you can collect by after giving some kind of interviews. You will get some coins and some perks from which you can gain some extra features in the application. And now we have an exciting